Hi, everybody. My name is Lakshmi, and I'm here not in the capacity of a supermodel or an entrepreneur. I'm here because, and I believe I'm here because I've changed the narrative of what the perception of a model in the fashion industry can be. And that is the change that I'm going to talk to you about how I swam against the current, how the perceived image of a model in the fashion industry and in society was changed because of the choices that I made and the changes that I brought about through the course of my career. I was born in a small town called Maligaon, which is near Guwahati in Assam. And we moved to Dehradun because we belong to Dehradun. I come from an army background. My father was from the 4-5 Gurkhas. And today I'm married to a major general, a serving major general in the army, his name is Major General Puneet Doval. And he's right now serving in Gulmarg. I started off as a nerdy child. I was preparing for engineering. I had dreams of becoming a pilot in the Indian Air Force. And, as they say, it's the profession that chooses you by the end of it. It's your destiny that takes you where it has to go. And that's why I became a model. I will not dwell too much into how I became a model, but I will tell you this, that it wasn't easy. From a very disciplined background, which is the Indian Army, and the kind of life I've led through my bringing up, the way my parents taught me, and the way we interacted with society in general, to coming to an industry which is hardcore. It does not have any rules and regulations per se when it comes to interactions with people. It is a very cutthroat industry. Making a mark in there was a very, very difficult task. I come from a place which is in Guwahati and Dehradun where I was, and my daughter is here. She's about 5'7" right now and she's only 12. And I was 5'10" when I was in grade 6 or 7. That was my height. And at that point of time, there was a lot of bullying. They used to call me Amitabh Bachchan. They would call me giraffe, pole, God knows what not. And I will thank my parents because at that point of time when I would come back, I told them that, I think I'm suffering from a disease called gigantism. I don't think I'm going to stop growing. And my parents told me, shut up. You're absolutely fine. Walk straight and lead your life with whatever God has given you. And that's what I take forward, or I took forward throughout my life. Now the presentation that I'm going to show you, which is I'm going to be very quick about it, I'm going to breeze through it because of the lack of time. And my daughter, as soon as she saw the presentation, says that, Mama, I really question the choice of your fonts. So please do not look at the fonts, but understand what I'm trying to tell you here. The reason I started Wilderbee, what were the reasons that I started a company which helped me give back the kind of experience that I've had in the fashion industry for almost 25 years. I started with Miss India as I was introduced. But after Miss India, I got into my first platform was Fashion Week, India Fashion Week, the first India Fashion Week that was ever held in the country with the top supermodels of the country. And I was like this tiny little entity who got into it and tried to fight my way up. Through my 20 years of experience in the fashion industry, I discovered that what I was suffering as a child, which was, bullying because I was different. In Assam, you don't see too many tall people. Now maybe you do, but at that point of time, my peers or my colleagues or my classmates were almost half my height. The same thing was something that I was suffering in the fashion industry as well, wherein even if I was tall and thin, it wasn't good enough. They kept saying that, you are too broad. Maybe, I was a size 8. They said, you need to become a size 6. They said that, you are too dark-skinned for a campaign. All right? So there was a lot of these issues that people would put into my head. Things which I never thought was a problem became a problem for them to accept me into the industry. And, and as my previous speaker said very rightly, that the Indians have to understand their strength. We Indians are an extremely strong, intelligent race, but what we lack is confidence. What we lack is the fact that we should be comfortable with our skin color, whatever skin color that might be. I, as a model, lost onto so many jobs to the foreign models who came into India. Even the lehenga companies would want to take up a foreign model for their campaigns, even though they did not even know how to hold a dupatta. Why? Because they wanted fair-skinned girls in their campaigns. What is this obsession that we have with not accepting what God has given us, where we come from, our roots, and make that into our strength and march forward? So that is something that I feel really hit me when I entered the industry. And I said, this is something that I need to change. It's the beauty norms that society has set for us. Being thin, tall, and fair is not the idea of beauty. The idea of beauty is to accept oneself and make your uniqueness your strength. It's how you feel about yourself. The second thing was there was lack of awareness. Basically, all the models, my peers who were coming in, even me, when I joined the industry, I had absolutely no education for what modeling is about, what the industry is about. So you can be taught how to walk the ramp. You can be taught how to walk in heels. But what about the rest of it? What about how to brand yourself, how to conduct yourself well, how to be professional, how to collaborate well, how to work as a team, how to be safe, how to not get exploited, how to position yourself? All that education was lacking. So and let me tell you, and somebody also asked me today that, do you have a mentor? No, I didn't. I entered the industry blind. I did not have a mentor. And that was one of the reasons why I said there needs to be an education system like any other institution, because fashion industry is one of the fastest growing industry in the world. And I believe that there has to be an education system. So that is something, this is the reason why I kept thinking about it, that I have to create this education system, a wholesome education system. Second was lack of inclusivity, which is everybody who is from any age group, gender, size, could enter the industry and make something of themselves. So I have broken that norm as well, wherein I am right now at an age where I have already done 25 years of modeling, and I'm still one of the top models in the country, still walking the ramp for the top designers. That is unheard of. It is not easy. The third thing was exploitation of artists. When you enter the industry, you're as young as 16, 17, 18 years of age. You're still deciding what my career path is going to be. I'm passionate about the fashion industry. I want to get in the glamour industry, but how? Or maybe I should go to a safer section and try and make my life in the proverbial, like how you guys are doing, like an MBA or an engineering or being a doctor. Those are very respectable jobs as well. But how do you decide at a very important juncture as to what your next 20 years of your life is going to be? That lack of information was a problem, and so young students, young people who would come into the industry would come in blind, and I realized that there has to be a safety system wherein information about dubious organizations should be there. So we learned on the job. We would talk to somebody, that person would speak something stupid, and we would say, okay, let's run from here. We learned on the job. But today, I have formed a place, which is a safe place for people who are getting into the industry through Wilderby Talent Camp, wherein that information is right there in front of you. What is Wilderby Talent Camp? Our mission is to form a safe space for people who are entering the industry. That's number one. Number two is to create a diverse, beautiful, inclusive set of models who are actively working. Now, gone are the days when we used to only see models on ramp. Now it is all over. It's all digital now. So no matter what size you are, what shape you are, what age you are, you can enter the industry and make a brand for yourself. And a lot of people are doing that. Why this business model could work? When I sat down during COVID, by the way, that was the only time I got to sit and actually make the curriculum. And at that point of time, I said, how do I make this into something which is sustainable? One is passion, because I wanted to bring about a change. And that was something that was brewing in me for years, because it would really boil my blood to see young girls and boys getting exploited. And I couldn't help all of them. So the most important here, though it is not in that order, is that I wanted to bring about a change. And that would satisfy me as a professional. Second was expertise and experience. I had the wherewithals, I had the experience to actually make this work. I wasn't dependent on anybody else. Love for the job. No matter whatever I say that the industry has been rough, I do love my job. It is an amazing industry. I got to travel a lot. I earned enough money, and I met incredible people. So I do love this industry, and I feel that this industry has a lot of potential to give back. It's a very inclusive space for artists, but that inclusivity is not there for models, or it never used to be there for models, but now is, because we are following the West. So it is all coming in. The inclusivity factor in the modeling industry is coming in. It also addressed a gap in the market. There were no modeling schools that time who were teaching a holistic education for models. And fashion industry is a growing industry. Tomorrow, you will be seeing that it will be one of the top most industries, the most earning industry in the world, very, very soon. How we built our Wilderby model was education, which is providing courses. Second was agency. Now this education is being given by somebody who's authentic, who's got a good reputation in the market, and could give, and so we do not promise any jobs. This is a solely education system that we provide, where we give information about all aspects of modeling to the student. Agency, we have an agency, a modeling agency, where we given jobs. So that comes as a byproduct of people who are joining the courses. We select whether, if you have the potential, we put you in the agency and we give you jobs. And the third is the community. So we have a Wilderby community of more than 2,000 members today, who are actively communicating between each other about opportunities, about dubious organizations, about a bad photographer, about a shady casting agent. So that information is there. So you don't have to go through experiences, bad experiences yourself, so that you can actually have good experiences and go to the right and get the right opportunities. Now the framework is a 4-lens framework, which is learn, leverage, lead, and love. I will not go too deep into it because of lack of time, but what I'm trying to tell you here is that we are creating an education platform, a world, a safe world wherein anybody who wants to enter the industry has this one platform to work under. Our vision and our positioning of Wilderby is that it should be a catalyst that turned a fragmented industry into an organized talent space. We give talent to the industry, they are well informed, they are skilled, and they do a great job. What is the Wilderby story? So I'll tell you what happened when I started these camps. I realized that there were students coming in from all backgrounds. I was actually surprised. It was not only the thin, tall, proverbial model-like candidates who were coming for my courses. For my courses, there were people who were coming in from all brackets. Girls and boys who were 5'4" in height, 5'2" in height, 4 feet 8 inches. There were candidates who were coming in who were transgenders from the LGBTQ plus community, plus size models. I have had students who were above 40 years of age, 40, 50, 60. The oldest student that I've had is 72 years of age and who's actually done campaigns with top designers today. I've had a Down syndrome kid about 16 years of age, who came for my course. Deaf models who came for my course with their interpreters. So there were a wide variety of people coming in. So the courses that we have people who are coming from your background, which is corporate, people who are wanting to make, who are into designing, who want to actually feel confident about themselves. So I realized that the course curriculum was such that it was open to everybody who wanted to gain confidence in their body language, in the way they saw themselves, the way they portrayed themselves, their expressions, the way they thought about themselves. That was the Build2Be story, which is an inclusive platform that changes beauty norms. Now, when I say time to remodel, the idea of a model had to change through the times that we are living in. Not everybody knows that there is jobs for every kind of a human being. It does not matter what age bracket you are, or what size you are, what shape you are, if you have a skin disorder, if you're bald. So there is a place for everybody in the industry. Today there are influencers who are doing a great job. Today there are brands who are wanting regular sized people to come and model for them. And let me tell you, that is going to be the future. Their brands are going to start asking or start portraying their clothes on the regular average human being, a client. So this is what we are trying to do, which is where we are trying to create conversations and trying to spread awareness about the fact that the industry is not what it used to be. And let me tell you, there is a lot of misinformation out there, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. The fact of the matter is that, I'm standing in front of you, you are the future of the country. There's a youth bulge in India. Almost 64% of India's population is under 35 years of age. India's youth will be driving the next change. You all will be the ones who are going to create stories tomorrow. But where is the problem? The problem is the proverbial Indian problem, which is the confidence crisis. And this is something which we need to really look into, because I feel that colleges today and all education platforms today do not look into it with depth. Mental, spiritual, and physical growth